So my name is Marco Bijvels. I'm the SVP of EAP, so I'm managing the EMEA and APAC region for Call. So one word is a little bit of a challenge, so let me use a few words to describe it. I think I'll describe it as delivering on the promise, right? So we've been working on eSIM for the last 6 years as an industry and within Core as well. It's a big topic, and finally I think it's happening, right? So whereas previously we were still relying on roaming solutions, we can see that nowadays with the changing landscape of roaming, which is less and less possible, it's more expensive, there are restrictions from a regulatory perspective, from a permanent roaming perspective. So eSIM profiles are becoming more important to actually serve our customers to deploy global solutions. So I would say delivering on the promise, something that we would have seen happening for a few years, is actually happening right now. I think the whole philosophy and idea behind eSIM has not changed. So every starting point, why it has been designed, is still valid. Initially, I think it is evident that the easy use cases were being served, so that was the insurance use case, put in an eSIM and you're kind of set for the future. That has been adopted in the early days already. We've got a huge deployment already on those use cases. Related to the roaming restrictions and let's say the challenges that customers are facing more and more, we see a lot of customers coming to us asking for eSIM for global deployments, where we use a single SIM card, obviously, for the single SKU, for the lifetime of the device that it can deploy globally, but the adoption of local profiles is becoming more important. So having an ecosystem of eSIM profiles to deliver that single SIM card is essential, and that use case is more dominant now than even the insurance use case. So that's really happening at this point in time. It's an interesting and important development. I think it's the insights from the use cases that we've been working on as an industry that have led to this new standard, obviously. It's simplifying the M2M standard, which has its drawbacks, right? It's using SMS, it's not the best design and future-proof from that perspective. It's combining the best of both worlds. So that will unlock eSIM even further. So we can see customers having specific requirements on their deployments, which kind of requires a proprietary solution right now where we try to fit a square peg in a round hole. And I think with the IoT standard for the SGP 3.2, that's going to change. And I think that's really going to unleash all use cases, going from the low bandwidth, low power solutions to the high end. So it will serve all use cases going forward, including the consumer use cases, obviously. So it's a big change, and we're looking forward to that. Yeah, the interesting thing is that I think the barrier for adoption has been roaming in a way, right? People have been using roaming solutions forever, and as long as it's working, why would you use something that is more difficult? So I think with let's say that changing, that's really driving the adoption. The other thing that is happening is that the ecosystem is getting more mature. So having, like I said, having a portfolio of eSIM profiles is crucial to deliver on the use case, to deliver on the promise. And we've built out quite an interesting portfolio of eSIM profiles, and working with customers to do that global deployment, that is a must-have. If you don't have the actual ecosystem, there's no eSIM, right? It just has the capability of switching without the ability to actually switch. So having the ecosystem, the eSIM profile ecosystem in place, the portfolio in place, having the technologies in place, obviously, to switch, that's important. Trying to understand what the use cases are and make the switching automated, that's an important one, right? It shouldn't be a manual thing. Also adding technology for our customers that have value add on top of eSIM, like IoT Safe, zero-touch provisioning. All those things are, let's say, coming together right now and are enabling that eSIM use case. The one thing that is still impeding, let's say, the adoption of eSIM is on the low end of the spectrum, so the low power use cases, so where the cost is very important, and eSIM SIM cards are, let's say, more expensive than regular SIM cards, so there's a little bit of a cost barrier still, and there's a technology barrier because of the SGP 3.2 not being available and SMS not being let's say, possible to be used by all network technologies. So I think from a technology perspective, that's the main barrier at this point in time. as a trusted advisor, we've been working with our customers for a while to bring the technology and help them in deploying their connectivity solutions, their IoT solutions. So we've been doing that with eSIM in combination with multi-IMSI, more and more with eSIM profiles being supported in our solution. We know there's a barrier of adoption from a technology perspective. There's always a dependency on the device still, and let's say working with our customers to make sure that everything is working flawlessly is an important thing that we do in that journey. We've created solutions to actually have our customers self-test their device, right? So eSIM validation, as we call it. So without the interference or let's say the support from ourselves, they can use our platforms to test eSIM compatibility in the beginning, but also later on. If you change the device, obviously it may impact the compatibility of your device with eSIM. And then we're building out our eSIM portfolio of profiles going forward. That's a continuous journey, and that will happen over the next years to truly come to a solution that continues to support all the regulatory, let's say, constraints and permanent roaming restrictions that people are facing in the market.